What is going on, everybody? It is episode 682 of Pop Culture Crisis. My name is Brett, and I am here once again with my co-host. Introduce yourself.
Hello, Crisis actors. It's Mary. Happy Thursday. We have another two-person show this week.
Where is Phil, and when is he coming back?
We are looking forward to Phil coming back, but we never needed him anyways.
I don't even know why I thought I needed him anyways. I could totally do this. We're just fine.
We're just fine without everyone.
Anyways, so guys,
pull it together.
We got a bunch of stuff to get into today. It's going to be a lot of fun, but before we get started, would you hit the like button, please, on this video and subscribe to this channel if you have not subscribed here yet already. Please and thank you, and remember to share the video with your friends, your family, your loved ones, the people you like, the people you don't like, people you don't even know that well. Just go ahead and share it anyways, because the best way to help channels like this grow is to share out the content so that other people can see it. So thank you guys again so much for that. And please remember, all super chats, $20 and over, we will interrupt the discussion. We will read those super chats right then and there. Perhaps you have like a deep-seated desire to say that you miss Phil as well, and you need it to be read right now. You can do that. So what are we getting into today? Well, we got a lot to talk about, but the first thing is that Amandla Stenberg, the star of The Acolyte, has issued her 8-minute long response to the fact that her show, The Acolyte, was in fact canceled. She takes full responsibility for everything. She says that, look, the writing just wasn't there. You know, it's not the fans' fault. They just want good Star Wars content. No, she didn't say any of that. She passes the buck, as they do in these situations. It's your fault for being an alt-right Yahtzee who didn't like my Star Wars show.
Something about her recording the video while braiding her hair or unbraiding it. I don't know what she was doing with her hair. Something about that aspect of the video, on top of it being 8 minutes long, is kind of the worst part.
Yeah,
it's like,
no, it was like
girls who snarkily do their makeup routine on TikTok while they're complaining about their Hinge date. It had that energy.
That's what I was almost gonna text you last night and be like, this is like the people who put makeup on while they're making videos. So we're gonna talk about it. Also, guys, believe it or not, Rings of Power, I believe it comes out today. Season 2, believe it or not, they are making the second season. They did make the second season.
Let us know.
And there are critics who are pushing back on this show. It is still certified fresh on Rotten Tomatoes from the critics. No surprise there. But we're going to go through some of the pushback because there is some mainstream shill media pushback on the show. So we'll discuss it. Also, Lana Del Rey's got herself a new man.
Yeah, she is finally in her country album era, and to go with it, she has found herself a country bumpkin boyfriend. And I think we're so back. Like, this woman can do no wrong in my eyes. As long as the rumors aren't true and it wasn't a married man.
Is that what they're saying?
Who left his wife for her. Some people are saying that. I don't believe the rumors. I think that this is pure. Okay. And maybe this could be her lifetime man's.
You do know way more about Lana Del Rey than me, so you're probably gonna have to school me on some of this stuff as to why all of this is important. But
well, unlike all the other female celebrities out there, she is not dating another person in the industry. She is looking for normal guys.
Looking for normality.
She dated a cop, right? Dates just kind of random dudes.
All right.
And I do think that is something to admire.
All right. Well, we'll get into it. So if you're ready, we can just go ahead and get started. You ready?
Let's go.
First things first, ladies and gentlemen, there is very important news for you. And that is apparently Caprisun is looking to get away from the lunchbox market and get into the adult lunchbox market.
This is extremely dumb. They are completely redesigning Caprisun. Yeah. So that it's no longer a pouch. It's a bottle.
I like the top comment. It says, shocked they haven't entered the alcohol market. Non-carbonated spiked Capri Sun would be a hit. They're probably right.
Non-carbonated is a big thing. Yeah. This is one of the most shocking product changes in the history of food and beverage. Actually, yes. Because part of the joy of the Capri Sun is poking the straw and having trouble poking the straw. Like, the struggle makes it all worth it in the end.
Yes, there's a 20 there from Nate.
I don't see it.
He said it had been so long since I thought of Dave Portnoy. You ruined that for me yesterday. Was a great show, though.
I thought he was a popular guy. I thought he was well liked.
Isn't he kind of a man of the people type of dude?
Or at least he was seen that way.
Look, I have no problem with Barstool as a whole, you know?
Yeah, it's just not my thing, and I'm willing to recognize that.
Arguably, I'd probably fit in better at Barstool than at Timcast. I don't know.
But you're not into sports as much as those guys.
I mean, but they do other stuff. They branch out. They do have there's one that you would hate where it's literally just a dude who talks to OnlyFans women.
Wait, that's literally the entire
That's the
point?
show.
Like, what do you mean?
He just interviews them. He
interviews them about what? Like,
I don't watch it, so I'm guessing.
Doing OnlyFans, or?
Yeah. I think at one point they were doing them in hot tubs.
And I mean, what is there to ask them? Like,
you'd have to go through and get some interview pointers from him while doing that. Yeah,
I'll look into that. I'll do my research.
Like I said, I got no problem with.
It's a thinly veiled way to just advertise porn on YouTube.
But back to Capri Sun.
Capri Sun, though, I don't know how we got off track there.
I think the big thing here is the amount, right? You're getting way more in a full size bottle than you get in the pouch.
Apparently Sam's Club is selling it by the jug now, like 2-liter bottles of Capri Sun fruit punch. Why? I oppose this in all its forms.
The large amount.
Yeah,
I mean, it does feel like you should only want it in the pouch, right?
It should only be in the pouch, and it should only be accompanied by like an Uncrustable.
Yeah, it would be like me going back to High C after they stopped making the Ecto Cooler, which was the only reason to drink High C.
Fountain High C with a Happy Meal back in 2007 just hit different.
I mean, they say that about all fountain drinks at McDonald's.
I don't know what it is.
They're like the Sprite from McDonald's.
I never tried the Sprite.
The Sprite from a McDonald's fountain, or even the Coke from a McDonald's fountain, was basically, the drink of the gods.
Does it just mean they put in more syrup?
Yeah.
Yeah, they just put in more sugar.
They're like, here's the key. It's unhealthier.
Yeah.
Or no,
I never understood the hype about Diet Coke either.
No.
I tried it one time. It was the most disgusting thing I've ever tasted.
It's
people just swear by it. They live on it.
And then it's funny how you hear the people who get really, really passionate about Coke versus Pepsi, which, to be fair, was my family. We were a diehard Pepsi family. I didn't drink Coke.
Okay.
Ever.
Was there a reason?
But like, if you go to a restaurant that serves, like, usually they have a contract with one company.
Mm-hmm.
You don't see restaurants that serve Coke and Pepsi. They serve either Coke products or Pepsi products.
Yeah.
Right? And then you go there and you realize that people don't language very well when you're like, oh, we have Pepsi products. Like, can I get a Diet Coke? No, but you can have a Diet Pepsi.
Yeah. Some people will just go with it anyway.
Yeah. Where their brain doesn't connect that,
Yeah, same thing.
It's not the same thing.
Basically.
So, but now I want a Pacific Cooler. Again, the Pacific Cooler bottle doesn't look as cool as the pouch.
The entire point of it
should
is
still
that it's in
come with a
pouch.
straw, even if it doesn't fit in there. Like, even if it would sink to the bottom anyways, it should still come with a straw.
This is gluttonous.
Is that what it is?
This is gluttonous. This is avarice.
It's actually okay.
Why do you want so much? Yeah. Why are you just gulping down the Capri Sun when it is supposed to be savored through a very tiny straw with very small sips?
There was a song called "Underwear Goes Inside the Pants," and it's literally not even a song. It's a song that's put together with a comedian doing comedy bits.
Okay.
And one of them is he's talking about, this is back in the day. He's talking about basically how Americans are so fat, like everybody sits in the drive-through, nobody goes inside the store, and he's like, how would you like a Coke with that? Like, here's a 55-gallon drum, it's only 20 more cents. That's not the case anymore now. Inflation has killed this for these companies. When I dared go inside the Taco Bell, not the drive-through, I actually ventured forth inside the Taco Bell KFC, which was another realm of depressing in and of itself. And I ordered a medium. And it was a medium. It might have even been like
They're getting
5 years ago. 5 years ago, that would have been a small.
Right. Yeah.
Now it's a medium.
Yeah. And there's no dollar menu
and
anymore.
Somehow they're not losing weight.
I'm thinking, the KFC Taco Bell should really have menu items that are both KFC and Taco Bell.
Yeah.
Right?
Like they blend them together.
Like a fried chicken taco or something.
Yeah.
Like, why don't they do that?
Like, it was really funny.
I can work for you, Taco Bell.
Olivia asked, like, can I get from the Taco Bell menu and the KFC menu? And the guy just rolled his eyes. He's like, I get asked that question 30
We're at a
times
KFC Taco Bell. Yes!
Yes, you
can!
Like, he just looked so angry.
Like, that's the moment. And then she says, put a girl on.
It's such a reasonable question. I'm sorry. It's such a reasonable question. Look, yeah, most people don't have experience going to a place with both of them.
Sure.
You know, it's fair to ask.
Like, no, we do separate transactions.
Sorry, I got to bring in
Actually,
Bob.
the KFC is only open in the morning.
Yes.
The Taco Bell is open at night.
He's like, Bob has to come in and take your order if you want KFC. But there's precedent for this because, like I said, I lived off Robert Street in Minnesota, which had an Arby's Sbarro out of a mall, not in a mall.
Arby's Sbarro.
So it was an Arby's and a Sbarro, and they had completely separate counters.
I don't know how I feel about that.
They had completely separate counters. So if you wanted from both, like if you went through the drive-thru, you'd have to order from either one or the other.
Yeah, that's dumb.
Yeah.
But also, the combo doesn't make sense anyway. Pizza and roast beef sandwiches? Why?
I have no idea.
No, just immediately no.
Eventually, and I will maintain that the Sbarro at the Arby's Sbarro tasted just as good as if I was in a mall. Like, just because I wasn't about to be able to go to a Hot Topic or an FYE doesn't mean that it wasn't a good.
Hey, bitch, I'm at Hot Topic. What size emo you wear?
Put a girl on.
Put a girl on. I'm going to terrorize the last remaining Hot Topic, just calling them every day and telling them to put a girl on.
Put a goth girl on.
Yes.
Put a goth girl on. All right. So again, I think you're right. I think there's some gluttony there, but
disgusting.
But most of these businesses these days, they're not trending towards gluttony. They're trending towards like, look, have you seen like beef jerky these days?
It's becoming so expensive to be a gluttonous 600-pound lifer.
The beef jerky is like the price isn't even going up that much, but the amount is shrinking. Like you get it and you're just like, there's nothing there.
Yeah.
It's depressing. It's depressing. All right. Sigourney Weaver.
This is our pre-game cringe of the day, maybe. So she was doing a press conference in Venice recently, and they asked her how women in cinema have paved the way for a woman to run for president, which is the stupidest question I've ever heard.
Let's listen.
To what extent movies, cinema, can make it possible that a woman like Kamala Harris could become president of the United States?
Wait, isn't Angela Merkel like, what about me?
Well, okay, yeah, but no one cares about your me.
I love that question.
The question is, I'm sorry.
Yes, I understand, but I love that question because we're all so excited about Kamala, and to think for one moment that my work would have anything to do with her rise makes me very happy, actually, because it's true. You know, I have so many women who come and thank me. Sorry, I need my vodka. And
she can't even open the
I'm
bottle.
Too. Thank you. It's been difficult since 2016. We're all very grateful about her.
What if she was, she's like, so many women come up to her. What if she knows that the people that Amandla Stenberg calls alt-right Yahtzees are the ones who always bring up Ripley when they talk about strong, independent women? She's a hero to the alt-right.
So they're saying that Ripley was an inspiration for women like Kamala Harris to run for office, and that brought her to tears.
Yeah. There's women leaders in the world. I wonder if all of them watch Alien too.
Smile and wave, boys. Smile and wave.
I wonder if all of the women leaders watched, you know, Alien and Aliens before they ran for office.
Yeah, I think that Kamala watched Alien and instantly deposed Biden.
Yep. Must have been, or maybe what it was
that moment, that was the turning point for her.
Maybe Biden was in his cinephile era and he was watching Alien and then he decided to drop out because he got inspired. That's what it was.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right.
I can imagine
that is cringy. Like the crying is cringy.
She must be pretty mentally unstable if something like that can bring her to tears within seconds.
Yeah.
Right? Not surprising for an actor, but yeah.
All right. Let's
Someone
move
check on her.
All right. So, do you guys remember last week and the week before when we covered the lawsuit that Disney is now going through?
Yeah, Disney is trying to dodge a lawsuit over a wrongful death at one of their parks. And in doing so, they tried to dismiss it by saying that the plaintiff had agreed to terms and conditions for his subscription to Disney Plus. And that meant that he has to go through litigation internally with Disney, not in a court of law.
Which is insane.
And it's insane that they even tried to dismiss it on those grounds. But now the situation has gotten even worse. And one actor playing Deadpool at the Disney park made a joke either at the expense of Disney or at the expense of this man who lost his wife. You decide.
Let's watch this.
Your interpretation here.
And headed to the big battle. Cinderpool was late because he had to read every single page in the terms and conditions when he signed up for Disney Plus. I don't get it. Yeah, they do. It's fun.
Guy's got a good voice for it.
Yeah, he does.
He does. He really does.
So he was making a joke referencing this lawsuit, and I'm guessing almost everyone in the audience had no idea what he was talking about.
Well, that's the thing. Like he pretends like the audience knows, but me and you are terminally online and know about this lawsuit.
No.
The average person doesn't know what is going on.
But some people were saying, like, this is drastically insensitive. How dare he make a joke at the expense of this man who is, like, grieving his wife, they were claiming that she was murdered by Disney, which I think is overstating it a little bit. Like, obviously what happened was tragic, and they ignored her telling them that she had an allergy. They served her the allergen anyway. Yeah. I wouldn't consider that murder because it was probably just incompetence and negligence. But others were saying the Deadpool actor was making this joke at the expense of Disney, his employer.
Yeah. Like,
in a way that would fly under the radar.
I didn't
that
find
he could get
the
away
joke,
with.
I didn't find the joke as distasteful as other people did. I know that that's kind of ghoulish sounding, but it's about.
We've seen too much.
Where do you draw the line with stuff like this, like laughing in the face of awful stuff? And
other people were also saying, like, that's literally Deadpool humor. Like,
yes,
he's in character making a joke that Deadpool would probably make.
Like, it's not a joke that I would make, and I didn't laugh at it, but I wasn't offended by it in any way. Like, that's just the nature of when cases like this go public. If anything, like what I said when we were doing that episode, I said, good. Bring this to the public forefront, hold Disney responsible for their horrible choices and their horrible PR. And this is, I guess, their attempt to try to lean into it and dismiss it through humor.
Well, this was definitely scripted. Like, this isn't improv.
Yep.
Like, someone wrote this. Yep. Maybe he wrote it.
Yep.
They approved it. They know that this is happening, unless he just, like, went totally off script and, like, went rogue and they fired him. But I doubt that.
Like, people are in the chat. Angela Halo says, I'm more offended by The Crow 2024. Yes. I too was more offended by The Crow 2024.
The audience for this show is, like, families.
Yeah,
right?
I would assume.
Kids.
Like,
so when they're an actor playing Deadpool, they're not R-rated. They have to go family friendly if they're in person with all of these children in the audience, right?
I think I saw some other clips that point, I don't remember what they were, but saying that there's some stuff that pushes the boundaries a little bit. You could make the point that Deadpool at all being at Disney parks is a little bit more risque than they might want to in front of kids. But
do they have like 18 plus areas at Disney?
There were plenty of people bringing their kids to see Deadpool.
There's a lot of alcohol at Disney. There are bars. So are there 18 or 21 plus areas that like no children are allowed in Disney?
I mean, you'd imagine that would become common at some point, given the amount of people that Disney is courting, which are not families. It's, you know, Disney
swingers
adults.
on Main.
All the people laughing at this clip are probably not families. It's probably Disney adults.
Yeah, which
and
is
again,
cringy.
They laugh, but I don't know how much of it is literally just the human impulse where the guy who's delivering the line stops. Therefore, your brain is kind of like triggered to just start laughing because it's like a limbic trigger. You're like, Disney Plus. That's funny.
I spent thousands of dollars on this trip. I need to laugh at this.
It's a cope.
Crispy Like Transport said, won my court case today because the lawyers didn't show up. Song of the day, Mary Mary by Run DMC.
Glad you won your court case.
I don't know what
I don't know what you did.
What that was about.
Yeah, I don't know what you did, but good
Congrats.
for you.
Congrats or sorry that happened.
To you.
Anyways.
Yeah, like stories like this kind of make me they make me introspective about where my sense of humor is and where my apathy lies. Meaning, like, the story itself angered me because I thought, not angered, but the story itself was like, good. Dunk on Disney. They deserve to be dunked on for making this a court case that's so easy to make fun of, right? Like, making your PR that bad deserves to be dunked on. But it's not like I was offended by the notion. I found the 2019 thing about Spider-Man to be even more egregious.
Yes.
In a way. So it's like, none of this is going to keep me up at night. So am I just kind of dead inside? I feel like I'm dead inside sometimes.
You wouldn't be able to afford the emotional cost of caring about every tragedy and injustice.
I would not be
news.
I would not begrudge someone who was affected by this, who was offended by it.
You know, the problem is Disney isn't really, I mean, they're legally at fault, yes, but they're not personally at fault. It was literally probably just some stupid waiter who forgot to let them know in the kitchen that she had an allergy, which happens all the time, and mega corporations aren't liable in those situations.
When was the last time something that we covered actually like stirred something inside of you? I feel very disconnected from everything that we talk about.
You
like,
mean made me angry or something, like feel something?
Like it was The Crow for me. It wasn't a story about real people. It was how annoying it was how bad The Crow was.
I felt pretty strongly about our Wish review.
Oh, that was so long ago.
No, it wasn't. I don't think it was that long ago.
It was November of last year. So it was, I mean, it's almost a year ago now.
I guess so. Time flies.
Like it
felt pretty strongly about that one, but other than that, the reviews don't really get me fired up.
That's kind of a big deal. Think about that. Like, it's not the real world stories that affect you. It's the poor storytelling of the fake ones.
Sure.
Like the Disney story is pretty egregious. A man lost his wife. She was a doctor. She was somebody who was a net positive for society. She's, from all intents and purposes, seems like a good person who was doing something good for the world. And it's just like you read enough of that all day and your brain just kind of disengages.
Other than that, I felt strongly about Balenciaga.
Yeah. That 2022?
Yeah, that was in 2022.
Yeah.
But I just recognize that I can't let myself get rage baited, even if I am justified in being angry about something. It doesn't mean it's the healthy option.
I've found a solution lately to this, which is that, so when you watch the Amandla Stenberg video, and it's just a bunch of innocuous word salad filled with buzzwords that is designed to shape a form, an image of oppression in your head. Watching it on its face would really, really like annoy me because I disagree heavily with a lot of its perspectives. But I found that writing down my thoughts as I do it is extremely cathartic.
Yeah, I saw you doing that earlier when you were watching.
But I've been doing that more with a lot of the stuff that we cover, because if I write down what's annoying me, because what's worse than being annoyed by something is being annoyed by something, coming back to it to cover it, and then not remembering how to describe what it is that's annoying you, because you might not have the same thoughts the second time around.
Start a Substack.
Yeah. Full of spelling errors and poor punctuation.
Why not?
It would be fantastic. People would love that. All right, let's move on then, shall we? We got a lot more to get into here today. I just thought this one was funny. So Channing Tatum said recently in like an interview that for an entire year, he just bought new t-shirts because he just didn't want to do laundry. He's literally me.
This sounds familiar. Of course, you would find this funny. Because unlike Channing Tatum, you're not a multimillionaire.
Yeah,
you just do the same thing anyway because you're crazy.
I used to. I don't do it anymore.
Okay.
But okay, and to be fair, he probably bought nice shirts. I would buy 6 packs of Fruit of the Loom shirts.
Sure.
That are pretty cheap.
Straight into the landfill.
Straight into the landfill when you're done.
He just said, I hate doing laundry. Like, I hate it more than I can possibly say. This is a guy who can pay someone to do his laundry for him.
I was like, somebody should do, there's a really good, like, Instagram, like, short that could be made out of this, where it's like, look up the price of, like, a good, like, housekeeper.
Yeah.
And like somebody like that, and total it out for the year, and then total out, be like, okay, give him the benefit of the doubt. He doesn't buy the most expensive shirts, but he buys like pretty nice shirts, buy 365 of them. Let me round up, maybe do 400, because sometimes you're going to wear more than one a day.
I never wear more than one shirt a day.
You know, he goes from work, comes back from work, he goes out at night.
I'm sure he's got a lot going on.
Yeah. So
this is just adding so much to Channing Tatum's carbon footprint.
Look,
he should be shamed for this.
I stopped doing
Lashed in front of the World Economic Forum, maybe.
Yeah. Maybe we can get what's his name to, who's the guy who runs the WEF? What's that guy's name that everybody hates?
Alex Soros?
No, not Soros.
No, I'm just kidding.
The other guy. Somebody in the chat. Who am I thinking of?
I'm not sure. He'll need to answer to the WEF for
but
this.
anyways, so the point is that I didn't buy new shirts all the time. I just recycled. I got rid of the plain white shirts that are basically paper thin. Anyways,
You're just trying to justify it.
And
Schwab.
Yeah, Klaus Schwab. And I've moved on now to greener pastures. With that.
We're proud of you for that. It's growth. It's learning. It's doing better.
I discovered like laundry detergent with bleach.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's been a thing.
Yeah. Rather than regular laundry detergent, which does a better job of getting the stains out of it. Which never really mattered anyways, because they were skating shirt specific, so it's not like it needed to be like the nicest looking shirt.
Yeah.
Right? It's just it was a problem. So
not like I would know anything about that. I don't exercise.
And here's the problem. And then so he says, Brett wears the same thing every day. Yeah. I make up for it by wearing the same white black shirts to work every day.
Yeah.
Not the same one.
We appreciate consistency.
Yeah.
You know, someone who stays on brand. I do the same thing.
I would wear different shirts on IRL to give a visual difference to the shows.
Yeah.
So.
Just keep them on their feet.
20. Oh no, the 21 just randomly showed up on the screen here. That's crazy.
In other fashion news, Adam Sandler was recently stopped by a fashion review TikToker in New York City, and he gave a full review of his outfit for everyone, telling them where he got his iconic look.
I love the different colored shoes.
Yeah.
Here we go.
Where you from?
My name is Adam, Brooklyn.
Adam always got that drip.
It just happens. I didn't really think it through. There's sneakers. There's some goofy shorts.
Okay.
There's I wear this to cover this, and then I got this to cover more.
How do you do this? How do you do you have a specific style? Because you always wearing whatever you want to wear. You never go based on the rules. How do you do it?
Whatever is in the closet, I grab it. I think I got a bunch of this.
When you've got Netflix money, you just put on whatever the fuck you want.
Yeah. You have no one to answer to.
Underwear is kind of similar too. Okay. I grab it. I don't think about it much. Most people make fun of me in my family, but I keep moving.
That's why I love it, because you do not care, man. You're just gonna always do you. You stand out.
Certainly try.
So backhanded.
Now, what's 5 fashion pieces you cannot live without?
Sometimes my wife gets me nice socks that I throw on, got my kids on them and stuff. Sneakers that fit, it don't matter if they're dirty or not, as long as they're fitting and not hurting. These shorts are a little shorter than usual.
You like the hoochie daddy shorts?
I don't know what the hell they are, Gucci shirts. Threw this shit on because I think I got this 5 years ago, and I was like, oh yeah, I forgot about that thing.
Now, what's a common misconception about you?
People don't realize I'm 6'5".
That true?
No. You fell for that. No, it's not true. But now they're calling it the Billie Eilish.
Yeah,
She copped his style real quick.
So yeah, she took it from him.
She made it cool.
He's got so much money that he just doesn't have to care, right? Like that's the whole point.
I guess. Yeah. Is he just admitting to the world that he doesn't care?
I guess. I mean, I like it. I don't think of those I think he just didn't word it properly.
He seems like he's, self-conscious.
Yeah.
About his body. He's like, I'm wearing this jacket to hide my gut.
This.
Like, I don't even see a gut on him, but maybe that's because he's hiding it so well. I don't know.
That's why you wear the suit with the suit coat, right? So that you can hide the gut. Look, Adam Sandler is a beacon of sunshine in Hollywood. Like,
really?
He gets made fun of a lot for his Netflix movies, but I will take Adam Sandler over just about every other celebrity most of the time.
I mean, he was obviously better pre-Netflix, pre the existence of Netflix.
Hustle. Go watch the movie Hustle, which is on Netflix. It's a basketball movie that he made. It's not a comedy. It's about this guy who's he's a talent scout for a pro basketball team, and he's working to get a front office job so that he can actually be a coach. And it's about him acquiring this talent from Spain.
I saw an AI fan cast of an Adam Sandler reboot of The Simpsons, where he stars as Homer. Would you watch it?
I don't care about The Simpsons, so I don't think I would.
If it were generated by AI,
But if so Adam Sandler or Jim Carrey, who do you take?
Jim Carrey.
Take Jim Carrey?
Yeah.
If we're basing it solely off of their runs in Hollywood, I don't know. Like, it's easier for me to remember
who I find more personally likable.
Oh, I mean,
that's Jim Carrey
then
for me.
If it's about personally likable,
even though Jim Carrey is crazy,
Adam Sandler. But if we're talking about movies, do you go with the dude who made Liar Liar and Ace Ventura and The Mask, or do you go with the dude who did Happy Gilmore and Billy Madison? And
I haven't seen his movies.
They both had a very big. They were both the Chicago Bulls of the '90s.
I only watched Jim Carrey.
Yeah.
So I don't know.
Yep.
Maybe if I gave both a chance, I would change my mind.
You should go. Have you seen Happy Gilmore? You should watch Billy Madison and Happy Gilmore.
I'm sure I'll watch it on a plane someday.
Yes, you should do that. All right. I love your fashion. You're iconic, Adam.
Yep.
All right, let's talk about what's going on. Livvy Dunne is just trying to ruin the baseball season for her husband.
Dramatic.
I'm sorry, her boyfriend, not husband.
In case you were unfamiliar, Livvy Dunne is a famous gymnast and influencer, and she is in a relationship with a baseball player named Paul Skeens. He's a pitcher for the Pittsburgh Pirates. Recently, they lost a game pretty badly. They switched him out in the 5th inning. This is all according to Brett. He told me about it. They switched him out in the 5th inning for a relief pitcher.
Okay, so yes,
they were winning by a lot.
So when he gave up 3, he only gave up 3 runs.
Yes.
So they were ahead 10-3 when they pulled him in the 5th. I believe somebody was saying that they've got like a pitch limit on him, so he's only allowed to pitch a certain amount of. Only allowed to so many amount of pitches a game to keep him fresh or whatever.
Sure.
They pull him in the 5th and they got a 10-3 lead. By the time the game is over in the next 4 innings, they lose 14-10.
Yeah. So basically, Livvy was pissed off that they switched him out, and she tweeted out a GIF of Paul Skeens saying, "You gotta be kidding me," trying to throw shade at his teammates who dropped the ball.
Look, they
no
did.
pun intended, right?
It's funny because it's like they talk about how some athletes are unemployable not because they're not talented, but because chaotic personalities are bad for locker room cohesion. And I'm imagining you've got this very, very famous, very, very front-facing personality for your girlfriend who's now, posting to millions of people shade.
I saw one person comment on her post saying, "You're the only reason he's relevant," which is crazy. Because if you're a professional baseball player, yeah, you're relevant. Yeah. You don't need to leech fame off of some other athlete or influencer.
I mean, I wonder how much of it for some of them is they don't even want to necessarily be famous anyways. They just want to focus on sports, and by virtue of what
love
they
of the
do,
game.
By virtue of what they do, and the money and the love of the game,
yes.
But they might not necessarily want the fame. But I do think that this is the type of thing that people don't think about these days. That, look, we were just talking about Brittany Mahomes.
Right.
Brittany Mahomes could have a detrimental effect on her husband's locker room cohesion, depending on how they feel about politics, right? I'm not saying that that's going to happen.
I mean, if
my guess is
anybody-
99 times out of 100, they're good enough at their job that they know to leave it at the door, and that the team, the game, winning is more important than all that stuff. But that doesn't mean that doesn't cause drama behind the scenes, maybe with the other wives of the teammates.
I mean, if anybody's partner on the Kansas City Chiefs is causing strife in the locker room, then
Taylor
it's
Swift and
Taylor
all-
Swift. It's got to be Taylor Swift. I don't think it's Brittany Mahomes because she's like she happens to be a Trump supporter. Honestly, if we had to guess, most of them are probably Trump supporters, right?
Oh, I don't know. I would
At least quietly.
I would never.
Or they don't care.
I would never deign to assume who is
stealing all the attention? Who's the center of attention in that situation? Who's getting filmed in the box? It's Taylor Swift. Yeah. And Livvy Dunne, on a very small scale, is kind of doing the same thing because she goes to a lot of Paul Skeen's games.
Yep.
And she gets involved in the conversation. She now has thrown shade at his teammates for causing them to lose this game. And they're going to be like, bro, make her shut up.
Yeah.
Like,
it's an argument in the locker room that didn't need to happen in the first place.
Yeah, and then I saw another comment from a Pirates fan saying, I hope you talk to Paul about getting out of there, Livvy. They're trying to tell her, hey, tell Paul that he needs to demand a trade to a different team.
I love the idea that she's the middleman to
like
them.
she's
They're
the
like,
liaison.
We need to get you. We need you to pass this message along.
Which is insane, but exactly the reason why she shouldn't get involved in the discourse in the first place.
But I mean, she is kind of on a much smaller scale a very, very marketable thing for baseball.
Exactly.
In the way that Taylor Swift is for football.
The MLB tweeted out a photo shoot where she was dressed up as Paul Skeens at one of his games with the fake mustache and everything.
I remember this.
They were using her to market, and I'm sure she's, gotten them a lot of attention.
Baseball, football, basketball, all of these sports are now much more dynamic with the implementation of social media, and certainly the way these companies are run. You can't just survive on the sport itself anymore. You have to be active on social media, and one of the best ways to do that is to implement, very, very famous or popular teammates, girlfriends, wives, family members, and stuff like that.
Not that I assume this is a PR relationship, since they've been together for like almost a year, I think. But this is why people find PR relationships so plausible, and why they considered Taylor Swift and Travis Kelce a very plausible PR relationship that maybe progressed further into something real.
So we mentioned WAG, Wives and Girlfriends. Like, there's whole shows about that and stuff like that. So,
but like, Brittany Mahomes is getting all of the hate right now for what?
Because she doubled down on her. In fact, I'll look it up. I was literally just looking at it before the, and she's.
Doubling down would kind of assume that someone made a mistake. Like
triples down on stance amid Trump support backlash. I'm getting off the Fox site because they always a video always auto plays and ruins.
I don't want to watch.
I don't want to
Donald
watch
Trump's press release right now.
Yeah, it says Brittany Mahomes doubles down on Trump support as Taylor Swift remains mum about Harris. Who is this? The Mercury News? Mum? Brittany Mahomes looks eager to double down on her support for Donald Trump. You're right. By saying that, it implies that she made a mistake and that
she did something wrong and she needs to correct herself. But they're also implying Taylor Swift hasn't endorsed Kamala yet, so that she can keep her friendship with Brittany Mahomes. But
no, Taylor Swift has more to lose by talking about it than Brittany Mahomes does.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah. It's easy to speculate on what Brittany's quarterback husband, Patrick Mahomes, thinks about her signaling her support for Trump. I like how they wonder that they have never had these conversations before.
Wait, okay. Did you see this video of Brittany Mahomes that's getting a lot of views right now?
Is it the one about fried chicken?
No, I think it was a lip read where she
at the game.
She said, I just sent you the link. Yep. She said to the person next to her, Patrick said no resting bitch face. Because I guess she was getting criticized for having a resting bitch face at the games. But people are using this as more reason to, drive division between them over politics.
Oh, there's a great comment in the chat. John Durham says Travis has 2 rings. Taylor hasn't even gotten one yet.
We'll see. That could change. We don't know. Once he retires.
Look, Brittany Mahomes gets a lot of attention. I remember, like, after the Super Bowl, she was getting a lot of attention because she was talking smack, but also, like, they would do, like, photo shoots with her and stuff like that. She's on magazine covers, paid posts on Instagram and stuff like that. It's very lucrative to be the, you know, the conventionally attractive wife of a famous athlete.
I saw people making fun of her, saying that she gives 2016 Thanksgiving energy. Like
what
Christian Girl Autumn energy, over the knee leather boot with skinny jean energy.
So it's the
so
meme,
she's just a basic white woman, and
it's
that's
the meme
what you're
I
mad
sent you ages ago, where it's like it's all the women who have the vest on, the white shirt, the faded blue jeans, and the Uggs, and it says if all the spellings of Ashley were a photo.
See, Brittany Mahomes is that girl, but with like tens of millions of dollars more than them.
Yeah.
Same person.
It says, the reply said, glad to see you aren't backing down. We are all entitled to our own opinions and shouldn't be bullied into submission. I would like just once for that to come from somebody who doesn't support Trump. Like, but for that to come from, it never does, right? It's like, it's the same as when conservatives are always like, I always like to cut a herd jib. You know, I always had a feeling about that guy.
I always liked Brittany Mahomes.
It was
even though I just found out who she was a week ago.
Yeah, like I'm pretty sure that there was like something that happened after the Super Bowl where she was making snarky posts online where everyone was dunking on her, probably me included, because she probably sounded like a jerk.
Over what?
I don't even remember. I could go to TMZ.
Well, here's the problem: is like all of these people are going to comment, "Get your woman in line," you know?
Yeah.
Like, tell Livvy Dunne to stop with the Twitter fingers. Get your wife to stop posting about supporting Trump. And overall, the message is basically like, get your woman in control. Like,
which is weird from progressive people.
It is weird, but it's literally what they're trying to do is get Patrick Mahomes or get Paul Skeens to, like, you know, get their women in line and make them stay silent on social media, which in some cases they should be doing.
Yeah.
You
know, whatever. I mean,
if we're talking Dunne's case,
if we're talking about like, you know, being detrimental to like team cohesion, then that's not something that you want to do. You want to make sure that you're, what was it that Jonathan Major said? You got to be like Coretta Scott King.
You have to be like Coretta Scott King or Michelle Obama to match my freak.
Yeah. If you're gonna be famous, you're gonna have to be Coretta Scott King.
Patrick Mahomes is also in an awkward position because he has been pestered over and over by the media for his political stance, for his endorsement in the race, and he has refused to do so. But now his wife is going off on Instagram about how much she loves Trump, and they're going to expect him to answer for that, which is unfair, but the media is unfair.
Yeah, that's just one of those things.
Get used to it, you know?
You don't, like, now you're held. It's like anything you say will then become a side question for me later, because they're gonna say like, well, what do you think of your wife saying this, or what do you think of your husband saying that? Like, I don't know.
Years from now, you're gonna get DMs that are like, why didn't you say something when Mary said this super offensive comment about so and so on Pop Culture Crisis?
Silence is violence.
So your silence was violence.
Well, if that ever comes up and somebody asks you why I said something offensive, we'll know that hell is frozen over, right?
Yes, exactly.
I don't say anything offensive. I'm Mr. Inoffensive.
That's
me.
Positive Brett.
That's me.
Mr. Positivity.
All right, let's go. What would you like to see? Cringe or cute of the day?
Let's see. Cringe.
Cringe first? Okay.
Yeah.
I have not watched this one yet. You didn't request that I not watch it first, though, so that leads me to believe that it's not as bad.
It's not as
some
bad.
of them.
It's not as bad, but it's like one of those videos where they're filming a scene in a nightclub and there's no music.
Oh yeah,
sort of like that.
Or no, is this one of those things where they do like the headphone parties where the DJ's playing so there's no music? Okay.
Yeah.
I mean, this stuff would only be fun if you could do drugs.
They're not doing drugs.
Let's be real.
They're on the drug of liberalism. And matcha green tea.
It's like a...
The way she's just flailing, like...
Ma'am, this is a Wendy's.
That
lady in the front who's like running around is like all about it.
Like could be you on the drug of liberal feminism.
No. Like what they need to do is like there should be a study, in my personal opinion, that ties this right here to SSRIs and birth control.
Actually true. Actually so true.
This is a cocktail.
This is you on birth control and SSRIs.
This is you on Prozac and I don't know the names of birth control.
Ugh. Like, call me a hater. I don't care. I hate this.
Somebody says the cringe is the two men in the crowd. There's guys there?
There are guys? Oh, tell me that's not true.
Oh, yeah, there's one in the wild.
Ew, that's even worse than the rest of the video.
So the real question is, guys, if he's straight, does he clean up or is he just hopeless?
I mean, he probably went to this yoga class thinking that he was gonna pull mad bitches. Because there are so many options, but just know. This is middle school dance energy. Grow up. These women have middle management jobs.
Every single one.
I can't
the amount of emails that have been sent in this room is astronomical.
The amount of meetings.
Yeah.
The amount of Google
Zoom,
Calendar invites.
The amount of Zoom meetings that have happened in this room are just, that's bonkers.
Call me a hater. Fine. I own that. I'm a hater.
Oh.
I'm a hater.
Is that's a Taylor Swift song?
That is a Taylor Swift song, yes.
Couldn't be anything else.
Cruel Summer.
Couldn't
That's
be
the
anything
one.
else. Okay. Well, it's only uphill from here, guys. All right. Let's do cute of the day then.
I underestimated how much I would hate
how much you would hate that one?
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't blame you. Hold on. Let me get rid of all this. All right. Cute of the day, ladies and gentlemen. First thing here from Matt Stanford says, my Siamese Cinder.
Aww. That was...
Here's the thing. That's cute. If Mocha was making that same face, I'd call it awful.
That's so cute.
But that is awesome.
So fluffy.
All right. That is good. Let's do one more. This one is from Mistress D. Says, spent my morning arm deep in a cow to help deliver a calf. Spent my early afternoon assisting this lovely lady deliver these guys.
This is your job?
A day in the life of a vet.
Wow.
So full of glamour, so full of bodily fluids, so full of cute.
Sure does sound glamorous. That is cute, though.
It is.
The end product is worth it.
Looks very happy.
Yeah.
Very happy.
She's a proud mom.
All right. That was very cute. Love that for her.
Now I'm recovering.
All right. Perfect.
I'm okay now.
All right. Let's go ahead and get started then.
Yeah, so after the cancellation of The Acolyte, we have been anxiously awaiting public statements from Amandla Stenberg, who starred in the show, as well as Leslie Headland, who wrote the show. And finally, the day has come. It's glorious. She has posted an 8-minute long response to the entire situation using so many buzzwords that I got whiplash. It was everything you expected to be and more. We're not going to watch the whole thing because that would just be inhumane.
I do want to point out before we get started and watch this, before she gives you all of the buzzwords and directs you to a narrative that says that this is the fault of alt-right Yahtzees who just wanted to be racist, or what she called hyper-conservative bigotry, I want to let you in on some facts. First things first, this show cost $630,000 per minute of screen time, and that the viewership dropped off a cliff after episode 2. There are no plans to remove it from Disney Plus, but the fact of the matter here is that it wasn't alt-right bigotry or Yahtzees. It wasn't internet drama. It was the fact that normies didn't show up to Disney Plus to watch this show.
$630,000 per minute is nasty work. How is that even possible? This has to be money laundering.
It feels that way.
Like, she was the victim of a money laundering campaign.
Yep.
She was not clued into what was going on. Okay, so first off, she says when she found out, she wasn't shocked at the show getting canceled. And here's who she blames.
So we're
the alt-right Yahtzees and their hatred.
Here we go, guys.
I want to acknowledge and I want to show appreciation and love and support for. So that's why I'm hopping on here to talk about this, which is that our Star Wars show has been canceled. And I'm gonna be transparent and say that it's not a huge shock for me. Of course, I live in the bubble of my own reality, but for those who aren't aware, there has been a rampage of vitriol that we have faced since the show was even announced, when it was still just a concept and when no one had even seen it. And that's when we started experiencing a rampage of, I would say, hyper-conservative bigotry and vitriol, prejudice, hatred, and hateful language towards us.
I got a question, just on its face. How do you define hyper-conservative bigotry, and how does that differentiate from like regular bigotry?
It's like when the bigotry is extra, extra bad.
Yeah.
That's what that means.
Like, do you think that she's going to copyright us on this?
Oh, I hope not. You can't copyright it if it's not a diss track, right?
Like she can only do it if it's on the diss
So
track?
after this, she talked about how she was morally obligated to twerk and in response to all of the hatred.
When I saw that,
To honor her ethical code.
let's what were her exact words? They were, honor my sense of ethics.
Yes.
That's what she says. Here we go.
A lot for me, a lot socio-political dynamics, a lot about my own value system, how I respond to that kind of hatred, how I move through the world at large. And it just became inarguable for me at a certain point that in order to continue to be myself, I would have to honor my value system by being vocal even within the context of working for Disney and working within the large,
I did this once when I was a child, where I had to go to a funeral and I was really young, and I told my dad that I didn't want to wear a suit because it wasn't really me.
It just wasn't true to yourself.
It wasn't true to myself. So because I was a child, that's different, right?
That
'Cause I wasn't-
flies when you're a child, not when you are in your 20s and
At
have
work.
the opportunity to star in a show that cost a mega corporation over $100 million, almost $200 million.
Here's the other thing about this is like, this could have been a fantastic time for pushing back on the things that you believe happened and doing some honest self-reflection. Now, you could talk about the perceived bigotry online, though I would argue that 90% of that was people saying that the writing is garbage and the acting is lifeless, which has nothing to do with race, gender, sexuality, any of that stuff. But people like when people take responsibility for things. They do. People have a natural inclination to give leeway and see the good side of someone when they're willing to own up to when something doesn't work, right? Think of what happened when they were making Sonic and they released that abominable trailer that had that hellscape of a Sonic.
Yes.
And everyone said, this is the worst thing I've ever seen. My eyes are being like pulled from their eye sockets with awfulness.
Yes.
And they're like, the director's like, okay, we're going to go back and we're going to do something about it. Sonic 3 is about to come out and the trailer is good. It has a fan base behind it. People like the character.
And a
they've
spin-off show.
And a spin-off show. People like it when you own up to things that don't go well, especially when it's regards to public perception.
And
right?
when you
We're not talking
listen to
about
critique.
Yes, when you listen to critique. We're not talking about your actions in private. We're talking about interpretations of art that's corporate made, costs millions of dollars. It's not an insult to your character to say this art is bad. It's to say something went wrong, the show didn't work, we could have done better in certain respects. You will get way more respect back from your audience if you take that approach. She doesn't do that in this at all. She spends the entire time focusing on the perceived bigotry of people who dare question her show.
Right. Well, these types, they never learn.
Yeah.
I don't know
What does it mean to say...
who expected her to take any responsibility, but these woke people never learn their lesson. And they take pride in that.
Like, what does it mean when she says, honor my sense of ethics? I would ask her, what does that mean?
Twerking. That's what that means.
What does that mean? Like, I guess it's the concept of speaking out against hate.
Twerking and rapping about slavery. That is what that means.
It comes off as morally superior.
Of course.
It comes
because
off
she
as self-obsessed.
believes she is morally superior to everyone who disliked the show.
Yeah.
And it's like, it's such a, if you don't have anything nice to say, don't say anything at all mindset, which is made for kindergartners, and you're supposed to graduate out of that and be able to take constructive criticism and naturally have the ability to discern what is constructive criticism and what is insults.
Yeah.
Everyone can tell the difference between those two things.
A pragmatic worldview would have been best in this respect, right? The audience wasn't there. Nobody watched past episode 2. Ask the question why.
Well, ironically,
according to her, all of the bigotry started before they were even cast, when the show was even announced, right? So if the bigotry started before the show even came out, why was there even high viewership in episodes 1 and 2? Theoretically, there shouldn't have been any viewership.
Well, then she would say it's hate watching
and
review bombing. Okay. Yeah. So ironically, Amandla Stenberg lives in an echo chamber herself because she's grown up in Hollywood. She has been an actress for years, since she was a child. She's a Nepo kid. And she lives in the epitome of a liberal echo chamber. But she is telling the fans who didn't like the Acolyte that they actually live in an echo chamber, and they were allowing social media to confirm their biases against the show.
Okay. Look, I think that there is something to be said sometimes that some people, like, my guess would be, like, if that's true, it's that they read a bunch of stuff about it and then just didn't try it at all. But I refuse to believe it. What she's saying is that you read a bunch of stuff before it and then watched it. And then
I'm not saying that doesn't apply to anyone, but it is the pot calling the kettle BIPOC.
Correct. Here we go. That was so good. Hold on. We're loading.
Amandla's thinking about what she wants to say.
She is. Hold on. Let's refresh.
She rarely does that.
But I'll continue to process this for a long time. But maybe the last thing I want to say on the subject is that we all exist in the context of all in which we live. But I'm serious. It's not lost on me how the way that these events have unfolded is also due to the hyper-divisiveness of the time that we live in, that is driven, I would say at this point, by echo chambers of thought and algorithms that reinforce our biases. And I think that applies to everybody. But I think that in a particular sect of people, it manifests as a lot of fear for what is changing, and a lot of hatred for anything that is other.
I agree
She's talking about the making of a fucking Star Wars show like it is culturally as much of a shift as like the abolition.
I agreed with the first half of what she said on its face. I disagree and reject the notion that it has anything to do with Star Wars. People do have their own worldview spewed back at them every day through algorithms. That's 110% correct. But people tried the show. People turned it on.
Like,
people turned it on. People watched it, and then people didn't come back for more.
Echo chamber happened to you.
I literally wrote down, I was like, she has this fantasy of overcoming odds and oppressors. Dude, you're just an actor who made a show that people didn't like.
No lessons were learned, clearly. She is delusional. She's throwing a tantrum. And,
also, here's the thing. She talks about how she went through like the fan art and the engagement with fans about people who were like really passionate about the series. This is the problem: is that the hyper like online super big fanboys of projects aren't the ones that keep them on air. Even like old network television shows that are still on have like stan accounts related to them. That's not what drives those shows to remain on air. It's the normies who show up week in and week out.
We read the Acolyte fan fiction. It was not anything that's making money for Disney.
Yeah. If there was these legions of online support, why didn't it translate to a season 2 renewal? Because then it's not about the online support. It's about normie support. You don't need legions of online fans. You need normies who have no idea that any of this is going on to say, huh, that was fun.
And none of
And
your
then keep
IRL
watching.
friends recommended watching The Acolyte. That's
Yeah.
the truth.
It's true. And it's just one of those things where when I see this, I do agree with her about the part about our worldviews being shown back at us. And it does kind of reinforce our own biases. But I would have also liked you to say, you know what? Maybe that's kind of true. But also, the writing wasn't there. It didn't seem to resonate with people in the way that we hoped that it would. Clearly, the viewership numbers bear that out.
Yeah.
Maybe if we had done something different, we would have found a way to connect with people.
Nope, no humility. None whatsoever.
A little bit of humility goes a long way in situations
Maybe Leslie
like this.
Headland will. I mean, we heard from people who worked with her that she used to be a reasonable person, at least. Maybe this will be a wake-up call for the person who wrote and created this show, at the very least. She has more investment in it.
You're just never going to get people on your side by blaming the rest of the world for when your when PCC eventually gets canceled. I'm going to blame all of you for not watching more.
In a video where I'm braiding my hair.
No, I wouldn't be braiding my hair though. I would be trimming my beard.
Yes.
I'll be
something random like that.
I'll be shaving and I'll be like, well, if you guys is full. You should have watched more. You should have paid closer attention. You should have contacted my boss and said you really love it. Like, no, if it doesn't survive, it's your own responsibility. It's not the responsibility of the people watching. The term "the customer's always right" may be a bit of a like a catch-all phrase, but it's especially true in the media, meaning that the customer is always in charge. They should be. Like, if they're not watching, there's no reason. You could make the argument that still to this day that they're greenlighting a lot of projects and a lot of stuff is being subsidized because of ideology. Well, that can only go on for so long. Clearly. Right. This show is full of it. If that was true, if it was true that all they cared about was ideology, they would just keep greenlighting it and they would just give it another season. But what does that matter if nobody's watching it?
The word is overused, but shows that are woke have a very short shelf life. And then they reach their expiration date and all of these passionate fans come out of the woodwork.
Yeah.
And they say, like, what happened? Why can't we have anything good? This is why we can't have nice things, is because you just don't support creativity.
I've loved
And it's like, oh, so you suddenly showed up to like actually care about this show.
I love
that no one was watching.
There's been a trend going around on. You're right. You're 100% right. Like there's a trend going around where they're doing that same statement with like movies where it's like over the weekend it was like it's like everyone complains that all we get is corporate slop, and then a totally original movie like The Crow comes out and no one goes to see it. You've got nobody to blame but yourself for reboots and sequels.
So true. Okay, let's read Super Chats. Shane H. Wilder said, happy Thursday, Brett and Mary. I watched documentaries on the fall of Circuit City and Blockbuster. It's fascinating how they just screwed themselves.
I'll have to watch it. I mean,
there is one Blockbuster, right? Or is that?
I think there was
got
like
rid
the
of the
last Blockbuster got turned into an Airbnb or
Right.
something, and I think it was like a one-time only thing.
That'd be cool.
My dream is still apparently every year around Halloween, the home that was used to film the final big scene for the original Scream movie gets turned into an Airbnb at Halloween.
Yeah, they do that with the Twilight house.
I
Bella's
would
house.
love to be able to spend Halloween weekend at the house from Scream 1. That would be
How much do they charge for that?
I don't know, but that would be
It must be a lot.
That would be a bucket list thing for me. Yellow Flash is in the chat. Hail Yellow Flash.
Hi.
Yeah, I would love to be able to, and I would go through every room and I would just do all of Stu's lines. I'm feeling a little woozy.
Just make sure you record it.
I will, yeah. Like,
so we can watch.
Billy, you cut me too deep. I think I'm dying, man.
Shane H. Wilder said, oh, and how are you enjoying Mutant X, Brett?
Holy shit. Okay, so yesterday I found out that they put the show Mutant X. It's this absolutely hilarious sci-fi show from 2001, which is basically like we wanted to make the X-Men, but we couldn't get the rights to make the X-Men.
Sounds like it, yeah.
From what I understand, like they even had to make changes because they got sued by Fox. Like they had to make, like originally they were supposed to wear like all black uniforms. They had to change that. They couldn't give them code names. Like it's hilarious. You can tell it's like that guy is very clearly Professor X. That it's amazing, and it's so bad that it's good. Like it's full of like, imagine if you were watching a show like if Torchwood and Dark Angel had a really, really poorly coherent baby. It's awesome. Like I the first thing I showed was like all of the wire scenes where this girl is very clearly on wires kicking people, and her foot is like a foot away from the guy's face, and it makes the kicking sound, and she's just getting, the guy's head just goes flying. And then I was like, I'm laughing really hard, and then it comes to the intro credits, and it literally says on screen, in order of appearance.
This
I'm sorry. It says in alphabetical order. It actually writes in alphabetical order on the screen so that you know that they're listed in alphabetical order.
Okay.
It's 2001 slop, and it's amazing. I'm loving it.
It just sounds like not another teen movie for the X-Men.
Yeah, and the best thing about it
is it a parody or is it just
it's
straight up copycat?
It takes itself very seriously, and I love it. I love it.
Gordon Shumway. Ian Slater said this weekend was predicted by Star Trek DS9 in an episode about a character named George Bell. I hope art doesn't become reality.
We'll have to wait and see. I don't know what you're talking about.
I do not know the reference.
Let's do one more.
Gordon Shumway said, Mary, what would you do with a... Wait, how do I say this? Kentaco Hut?
A Kentucky Fried...
Kentaco Hut.
Taco Bell Pizza Hut.
Pizza Hut, KFC, Taco Bell. They do exist.
Actually, yeah, there's
such a thing as a Kentaco Hut.
Pizza Hut, Kentucky.
Just send the meteor. We've clearly, this is the gluttony they talk about in the Bible.
I like the ones where it shows you like the Taco Bell, Pizza Hut like logo, and it looks like a flag. It says like if you don't love this flag, get out.
What would I do?
Yeah.
What would I do? I would get a Mexican pizza from Taco Bell.
Yeah.
And I would get a normal pizza from Pizza Hut. And I would just put fried chicken on both of them.
That's perfect.
Is that acceptable?
It says...
that would be my plan. That's my game plan.
There's the... Hold on, let's see.
Kentaco Hut.
Just sounds... a flag more American than the American flag.
Kentaco Hut just... It sounds like an Indian reservation or something. Like... I didn't know that was a thing, though. Thank you for educating me. Nate said Adam Sandler for Supreme Overlord.
Yeah,
I told you my Adam Sandler trauma on the show. It was like I was at a friend's house on Thanksgiving helping them make food, and her mom had the radio on for some reason and had one of Adam Sandler's specials playing where he sings...
Oh, the Hanukkah song?
The Hanukkah song, I guess that's what it's called.
So there's like 3 of them. I love the Hanukkah song.
And then it just gets, for some reason, we were in the middle of a conversation and it gets really quiet. And then he just sings the line, "My brother used to masturbate with baby oil." And then it's just silent.
You've just never been the same. You've never been the same since then?
Like my friend's mom was just like... She clearly, she noticed it. Everyone noticed it. No one knew what to do.
And everybody was really awkward and nobody said anything.
Yeah.
I love this one. What if we kissed at the Brutalist KFC?
Bruh. I want to go here.
I also love this one.
That looks like a vibe.
Which is, what if we kissed at the weird post-modern KFC on Western Ave?
I can't see it.
Hold on.
Oh. That's kind of cool.
Yeah.
Yeah.
See, when I retire, that's what I'm doing. I'm going to visit all of the fast food restaurants with weird architecture.
Yeah, but I mean, Pizza Hut Classic is the only one that really matters.
I'm going to be getting back to it. I'm going to be going to it.
McDonald's with the old roof.
Yeah.
You don't see that anymore. Yep. They're all gone.
All right, let's move on then, Joey. Time to talk about Rings of Power. Like, we haven't decided. So, are we going to review it? Are we going to review season 2? You don't want to review season 2?
I am not, under any circumstances, subjecting myself to watching Rings of Power again.
Guys, should I make, like, quick 3-minute reviews of Rings of Power.
If you want to go through that, fine. But the only reason that we suffered through the Acolyte is because, thank God, 8 episodes that are all under 45 minutes. I'm not going to go through like hour and a half just CGI slop and spirit Halloween costumes again.
All right. Time to talk about Rings of Power.
It does feel like a lifetime ago that we were reviewing the first season of Rings of Power back in 2022. And now, finally, the second season is here. The one that everyone has been waiting for because they had such great audience retention. And it's funny, I recall that I was racist for disliking Rings of Power back in 2022. But now the critics are racist because even the critics and journalists are trashing this season, and saying that it's boring and lifeless.
And when Mary says that they had great audience retention, what she means is that in season 1, only 37% of the people that started it finished it. It was higher overseas. They just have better attention spans over there.
We calculated it out. Again, we forgot the exact numbers earlier. They spent over $700 million on the rights and production budget combined for season 1.
465. According to what I understand, they spent $250 on buying the rights, and then $465 million on the show itself, which comes out to about $58 million an episode. If somebody wants to correct me and tell me that it was $465 million all in, I'm happy to go with that. But from what I understand, they spent the $250 first just to get the rights, and then they dumped. They just literally, it's the Joker in The Dark Knight when he lights all the money on fire. Says it's not about money, it's about sending a message. That's what they were doing. The message was great CGI doesn't make your shitty show good.
Yeah, regardless of whether it was 700 million or if it was like nearing half a billion, it's a lot of money to spend.
$500 million, $750 million.
Here were some of the headlines. Variety said, Rings of Power makes Lord of the Rings a boring slog in lifeless season 2. Another one from Esquire, The Lord of the Rings, Rings of Power Season 2 premiere puts the mid in Middle Earth.
Whoever their Zoomer intern is making their wage.
Rings of Power breaks the mold for TV. That isn't always a good thing.
I love it. They literally did the thing where they say like, Donald Trump is going to cure cancer. Here's why that's a bad thing.
Exactly.
Like, from what I understand, all the directors in the new season are women. So that's perfect.
Really?
Yeah, that's perfect.
That's amazing. That's amazing news.
Yeah.
I'll let the women's conference know. I'm actually headed to a women's summit after this, so I'm going to let all the ladies know that this was a massive W for women, that all women are directing this season.
Yep, Yellow Flash says, yep, everyone is a woman. Every director is a woman.
Great. Because women are famously great at directing. According to their showrunners, Patrick McKay and John Payne, this was a passion project for them.
I got so, like, Mary can attest. I read that and I was like, no.
Just let that sink in.
You don't get to make a $465 million passion project unless you yourself possess $465 million.
Unless you are Jeff Bezos.
He can do, I mean, yes, this can be his passion project.
Yes.
This doesn't get to be McKay's passion project.
And they were both first-time showrunners, by the way. You know, just take a risk on an unknown kid.
That should be against the law. It should.
Just a casual billion-dollar passion project. It's not like it matters.
I think I'm going to start just applying for random jobs and then be like, I'm going to apply to be a surgeon and just be like, look, why wouldn't you let me? They let people who nobody knew direct the Rings of Power.
And, you know, it's not like the money matters. It's not like the fans' opinions matter either, because the fans are racist. So, you know, we're just going to keep trucking along, and we're already contractually obligated to finish out the series based on our rights deal. So this is going to keep going for, what was it, 5 seasons?
I think at least 5.
5 whole seasons of this garbage that no one is interested in.
Look, what's funny about this is Amazon can do it right when they want to. Okay, Reacher was good. I stand by that. However stupid Alan Ritchson is behaving.
It didn't cost as much.
I found, yes, Reacher did not cost as much. I enjoyed the Terminal List. I've enjoyed some of the things that Amazon has made. It's almost like as long as you exist in this pocket sphere that doesn't matter, they leave it alone and let it be.
I'm sorry, this quote from the showrunner, Patrick McKay, is so accidentally honest. He said, after stating this was a passion project, some of what's been hardest to hear is the cynical point of view that Rings of Power is a cash grab. It's like, it's the opposite. This is the most earnest production. This is not a paycheck job for anybody. This is a labor of love. It's the opposite of a cash grab because you're not making any of your money back.
It's literally what Alex Proyas said about The Crow. He goes, they called it a cynical cash grab, but I guess there isn't much cash to grab.
There is nothing noble about not making money. I don't know who taught these people that it's noble to lose money on art. It's not a virtue.
This is communist Twitter, communist art Twitter in a whole. Like, this is what they were saying about The Acolyte. They're like, it had such great ideas that could have been fleshed out in season 2. I'm like, that doesn't matter if nobody is watching.
You know what? If it's a cash grab, I don't mind something being a cash grab. Just make it good. Yeah. I'll entertain a cash grab. Just make it good. Just make it entertaining.
You know more, like we had this whole discussion the other day about when we watched the video about the film critic.
Yeah.
And we were talking about what that means because you're like, I don't like it.
What is the mise en scène?
Yeah. But the point
I still don't know.
is like, look, I can articulate the reasons that they tell you in film school why something is good or bad. That has never stopped me from liking a bad movie or a bad TV show. I literally just talked about how I'm watching Mutant X in my spare time. You can make like cash grab art. Like there's plenty of movies that can do that. That's not what this is. This is cultural, the attempt to conquer a cultural touchstone and turn it into something they want it to be.
It's colonization.
Yes.
It's just reverse colonization. Although this show has an 86% from critics on Rotten Tomatoes for their second season.
Even the positive reviews are so tepid.
The fresh reviews for this season always qualify it with something negative. Yep. So that says enough, I think, about what they really think. But I looked for a couple of the Rotten reviews. One said, Rings of Power remains epically underwhelming, full of noise and ambition, yet lacking the magic of the original Tolkien novels or Peter Jackson's trilogy. Another one said, it's an immersive vacation to Middle-earth, but one feels confined to a packaged agenda. Maybe we'll actually get into the place and various people or beings next season. Don't hold your breath. Another one said, falls prey to one of the most common afflictions of its kind. Feels like a story shaped backwards from events we already know will need to transpire, rather than one driven forward by the motives and choices of its characters.
Let me let you guys know how easy I am to please. I love the show Merlin, which takes great liberties with all sorts of stories and ideas, race swaps. It looks like it's made by a high school film crew. Yeah. I love it. I love every second of it. I think it's fantastic.
It's a passion project.
It was a passion project. And the reason I love it is because it feels like it was made in good faith by people that enjoyed what they were making, no matter how loose it is with its adaptation of material. I love it. And it felt fun. There is nothing that feels on the level of fun or passionate when I watch this.
Yeah, well, are you going to review it?
Maybe what I'll do is I'll watch episode 1.
Because I don't know if you would make it.
Here's the thing, though. Like whenever we have to review stuff, right, that I know we're gonna hate, it turns it into this kind of like, I'm looking at the clock and I'm miserable. Like I literally saw a Critical Drinker talking about it. He's like, I have to watch all these episodes of Rings of Power for open bar tonight, and I don't know if I can do it because it's so awful. Maybe knowing that I don't have to review it if I don't want to will make it easier to sit through.
The pressure is off. Yeah. But I already know if we watch it, we're gonna hate it. The problem is, I would agree to review it if I thought anyone cared anymore, but no one gives a shit.
Yeah.
There's nobody's going to be talking about this. It just needs to have its cultural relevance, and it lost it.
There was a really funny old article that I saw where they basically said it got a season 2, therefore it must have been justified. They're like, oh,
that was in the contract.
Yeah.
That was in the contract regardless of performance. 5 seasons. That's the cost of buying the rights for $250 million. That's not an indicator of success. That's just buying success. And you can afford it off the back of 2-day shipping. That's literally the name of the game.
It's literally me. It's
literally you're the reason why Rings of Power exists. So you're to blame.
I brought home a package yesterday of water that got delivered to me from Amazon.
And you were like, this is why Morford Clark has a job.
Well, no, do you remember when it was coming out and they had like Rings of Power shipping tape?
Yeah, I do. I remember that. That was crazy. I was like, what are you doing?
Oh, we'll have to wait and see. Maybe guys, I'll watch episode 1 and just maybe what'll happen is I'll do it and I'll make the most like half-assed reviews ever, and they'll do better because I'm not trying.
Yeah, that's.
Anyways, this shit was garbage. Bitch looked like she was just bored the whole time. Like
that's all that needs to be said. Anyway.
All right. We'll have to wait and see. I'll check tonight.
Shane H. Wilder said, "Cats always make the cringe worth it." That's so true. This cute of the day was great. Serenko Productions said, in before Amandla copyright claims this video.
Yeah,
LOL.
She could.
I certainly hope not. I thought that the purpose of making the diss track was to copyright claim people. Probably. You can't copyright claim off of an Instagram live.
Yeah.
That's not a thing. Shane H. Wilder said, the pot calling the kettle BIPOC. Bravo, Mary.
That was incredible.
Maybe I should tweet that.
You should. Do 2 more.
When in the Acolyte, the echo chambers you. So true. Very insightful. Shane H. Wilder said, I grew up with a combo KFC Taco Bell Pizza Hut.
Oh, it's amazing.
I need to see one of these before I die.
Why are Americans fat? Also Americans.
Well, okay. Then they just blame the seed oils, or they blame the food dyes, or
nothing but McDonald's.
They blame
in Europe
car culture, or they blame whatever. They blame pesticides, and I'm sure all of those things are not healthy for us here in America. But shut your damn mouth and stop eating so much.
There you go.
I think that's a much better lesson to learn from it, is that you have control.
Somebody in the chat just asked the question, goes, is Brett fat? And I just typed back, yes, I am fat.
It's the Chad meme.
Yes.
It's an obese Chad meme.
Yes. All right. Let's hold off on the rest. Let's come back. It's time. You're going to have to tell everybody about what's going on with Lana Del Rey. This feels like the most Cosmo topic ever.
Guys, we are so back. It's not even funny, because as Lana Del Rey is about to put out her first country album, she has found a country man to go with it. It's actually all part of her era. And people are having mixed reactions to this new relationship. His name is Jeremy Dufresne, and he happens to be an airboat captain. He leads airboat tours in swamps in Louisiana and wears camo. That's his vibe. He is also randomly bros with Glenn Powell because he hosted Glenn Powell on airboat tours in the past. So she met Jeremy.
Here's a picture of them, by the way.
Yes, this is a picture of them together. They look like a fantastic match, in my opinion. She met Jeremy back in 2019 on one of these tours. They must have hit it off.
He must have said something.
He must have just rizzed her up with some redneck energy.
So redneck riz.
Redneck riz. That's what it is.
Skibbity, Ohio, Montana.
Skibbity,
Montana.
Skibbity, Louisiana.
Yeah, Skibbity, Louisiana.
Yeah.
Ohio riz.
Yes. Exactly. So to give you an insight into who Jeremy is, let's watch this Glenn Powell interview where he just has nothing but nice things to say about him.
Here we go.
Swamp boat tour. So I'd become friends with this swamp boat captain named Jeremy. Jeremy and I would,
like, they're just sipping Miller Lite together.
I'm like 10 seconds away from starting a Glenn Powell stan page. I am.
Yeah.
I'm gonna do it.
This is kind of an iconic
my
duo.
boy Jeremy. And he, so we'd go on these swamp boat tours, you know, all the time. He'd sometimes let me drive, you know, kind of help run the tour.
You know what it is? He does that to everyone. He lets, like, it's totally
But he
allowed.
makes Glenn Powell feel special.
It's kind of like when somebody's like, when they've got a dog and they're like, and somebody's like pets the dog and the dog's really nice to him. The dog's really nice to everyone, but they hit him with the, oh, they're never this nice to people.
Yeah, exactly.
You got to make them feel special.
Mm-hmm.
That's the thing with like the big fans on the back. That's I've never done that.
Oh, I got to get one. I think this is sort of my new mode of transportation.
At this point, yeah.
If New York floods, you're going to see this like come out.
Don't even project that. It's like I'm terrified of things like that. Okay, but anything interesting ever happened on one of them?
Well, Jeremy, I remember Jeremy. I was sitting there up on the top there for a while, and we were sitting there, and I said, you know, New Orleans has one of the highest disappearance rates in the country. Is that because you know, is that because of the swamps? And he's like, yeah, man. He's like, you know, you take someone's teeth out, you shave your head, throw them to gators, there's not going to be nothing left. And I was like, oh, wow. And he goes, and he kind of just looks out. We kind of looked out at the swamp for a bit. He goes, why, do you need anything? No. I was like, I'm good, man. I was like, I mean, obviously he was kidding, you know.
Yeah.
Maybe he wasn't. I mean, I'm sure.
So he has a good sense of humor, too.
He'd be there for me if
He's down to earth. He's a business owner. He's a Republican.
Do we know this for sure?
Well, we know that he is a Facebook boomer that posts Trump memes, and Lana fans are currently seething about it.
That he likes Trump, that he's a Facebook boomer in general.
Yeah, a Lana Stan account said, it's over. Lana is dating a confirmed Republican Trump supporter. Shaking my head. I mean, just get over yourself.
At this point, isn't it kind of known that she's not gonna fall into the same type of weird liberal order that everyone is? Like, even if she was, like, she's at least open to the idea of being friends and knowing other people.
Good for her. She wants to be happy, and she doesn't despise people who live in the South.
Yep.
Unlike the majority of people in her industry. Another one said, I think it's clear who Lana is voting for this November. Why do you care?
Oh, only somebody who believes in a hive mind would actually think that to be true.
You know what? It would be even better if she were like voting for Kamala and he's a Trump supporter and they just like fell in love anyway because they don't care.
She was a Kamala stan.
Yes, yes.
He was a
MAGA Pete. Can I make it any more obvious? But they're still hating on him. Another one said, Lana Del Rey seen dining with her new ugly boyfriend in London. They're just calling him ugly and just insulting the guy for no reason.
Yep, they're just being mean.
One person even claimed that this is their dad. Now, I'm assuming this is a hoax for attention.
That had to be a joke.
This has to be a joke. But she said, this is how I find out my dad is dating Lana Del Rey. Hello. And then posted fake text screenshots.
Yeah.
Our family group chat is insane right now. I don't believe you.
Fake.
I don't believe you. I think that he seems like a trustworthy guy.
Look, he's a business owner, right?
Yeah, he owns this company that does the airboat tours.
Probably makes good money. We were having a whole conversation before about working class millionaires. I don't know if this guy's a millionaire, but you know,
I'm sure he does well for
America
himself.
works overtime these days to demonize people who do well for themselves. And one of the groups that's been lost is the idea of the working class millionaire or successful businessman. He makes a lot of money, but he puts it all back into the company. You know, that's what a lot of doctors are. Like, they make good money, but it all gets reinvested right back into the business. This is perfect. This is perfect.
So he's essentially the perfect guy because she's only dated normal people. I don't think I've ever seen her date a celebrity.
She's done backing it up for the Blue, and now she's...
Has she ever dated a celebrity? Because if she did...
You would know, I would know.
If she did, I would know. I think I would know. The last time that she got in trouble for dating a supposedly right-wing Republican guy is when she was dating a cop who was also on, I think he was on one of these police reality shows.
Okay.
So he was on this reality show.
Maybe she's not on Ozempic. Maybe she's just going out, you know, hunting and living in the backwoods with him.
Yeah, they're getting active together in the backwoods, trekking through the swamps.
Look,
she's using leeches.
People in this space love Lana Del Rey. Like, anytime we post a segment about Lana Del Rey, it gets good engagement.
She's impossible to hate, honestly, except if you're one of her fans.
Apparently.
Yeah.
Right?
But, you know, thankfully some people are being more positive about it, or they at least find it amusing. One person said, "It's so iconic how she has never looked as good as she is now, and she has never been as successful as she is now, but still chooses to date the most random guy ever." Another one said, "These comments don't pass the vibe check. Lana has been singing about this type of man since Born to Die."
Even BuzzFeed put "good for them" at the end of the article.
"I always figured Lana was never going to settle down with anybody except a blue-collar older divorcee. This guy seems to fit the bill. I hope they are super happy together." Another one said, "Normal guys with minimal social media and now no hunger for public adoration."
Yep. I mean, it's a better recipe for a long-term relationship, right? When one of them wants to stay out of the public eye, and she doesn't seem all that interested in.
She doesn't chase after
persona,
the spotlight.
Yeah.
The spotlight chases after her because her talent has been enough to carry her as far as she's gotten.
I'm telling you right now, like, go look at any like TV show and you'll see couples that have been married. It's not the same thing as movie stars, right? Like actors who marry other TV actors who've been together for 20 years because they just don't have the same public pressure that bigger named actors or musicians have.
Yeah, so this guy is going to be under a microscope because he's dating a huge celebrity.
Yep.
I don't know how well he's going to handle that, or if it's going to put a strain on the relationship.
Is it something
because
they
he
would
is
have,
literally just a random guy.
They would have had to have that discussion beforehand, right? Where
I'm
she's
sure,
like,
yeah.
She's like, "Look, we can do this, but it's not going to be easy for you."
Yeah, but at the same time, again, like, she's not the type of celebrity who calls the paparazzi on herself.
Yeah.
She's not that type. She doesn't know how to self-promote. She like hangs out at Waffle House and wants to like ride ATVs into the sunset. This is who she is deep down, and people love her for it. She's always had an appreciation for Americana. This is what she writes about. She writes about red-blooded, masculine men. And no one else has the courage to do it.
She could have ended up with Glenn Powell.
She's not going to pull something like Ariana Grande did, like opening her legs for a married man who played SpongeBob on Broadway. She's not going to date a football star and then end up being the center of attention at every game.
Yep.
She's just looking for a normal working guy from the South who votes for Trump and wears camo hats. This is amazing. You
know who could learn a lesson from this is Chapel Roan.
So true. If only she were straight.
Yeah. Well, I mean, take at least a lesson as far as like how to avoid the stands and the public scrutiny, be less accessible.
Well, at that point, you would need to have enough talent to keep you relevant, despite you not searching after attention, right?
Yeah.
Most people don't. Lana is a special case. She's never been good at promoting herself. She's never really wanted to.
Is that more endearing that when you're bad at it, it's just like, wow, it's kind of lovable?
Yeah, it's messy and chaotic and lovable nonetheless. Yep. So I really hope that this works out for her, because she's been talking for a long time about wanting to settle down with a man and have children. She is 39. So the time is limited. Yep. I genuinely hope the best for her in this relationship.
All right.
Let's finish up Super Chats. Corey Anderson said, "Mary, when you drive, do you strap blocks on your feet like Short Round in Temple of Doom to reach the pedals?"
Do you have to do that?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, I do. And you shouldn't judge me for it, actually.
She gets like platforms that like the Spice Girls wore back in the 90s.
I have driven in 7-inch platforms before.
How'd that go?
It was actually pretty easy.
Pretty easy?
Weirdly enough, yeah. Dr. Larcena said, "What I miss is Kentucky Fried Long Johns."
There's so around here, there's a Long John, there's like great memes that go around. It's like, who is this evil conspiracy that keeps Long John Silver's in business? Because nobody ever goes there. So the Long John Silver that's around here burned down and was like rebuilt better than it was before in like a week. It look maybe I'm missing a passage of time here.
Long John Silver's are like mattress firms in that they don't really exist to sell food or mattresses. They're money laundering firms.
Well, I mean, or human trafficking
or something like that. They've got to be trafficking people out of the Long John Silver's, because I can't make sense of it.
Like we were walking by a mattress firm one day, and I was like, where do you think they keep the kids locked up? And somebody who worked there heard me because they were like walking out with like a ticket for somebody's car. So apparently somebody did go there because apparently they were like.
Did he say anything?
He did not say anything.
He didn't defend the reputation of Mattress Firm.
He did not stop. But I was just, where do they keep the kids locked up? That's what I imagine happens at a mattress firm. It's a valid question. But it's not like you've ever gone in there. Now here's the thing. This guy went outside as if somebody was going to pull a car up. I still didn't see a customer. I've never actually seen an active customer inside there. They probably just ask someone to go do that once or twice a day to give the appearance of people working.
Yeah, you're right. It's like the laundromat in Breaking Bad.
Basically, I mean, that's it's really funny. That's the whole gist of the show. Power is like the character of Ghost. St. James, like he's got like he owns a bunch of laundromats, and like the FBI agent who is like his ex is like investigating it, and they're not at all like
they don't
find it suspicious that he owns a bunch of laundromats.
Yeah,
like if you work in the FBI, you probably run every person in America that owns more than one laundromat.
Yeah. So there's a KFC Long John Silver's. That's a thing.
It sounds awful.
I just don't think they should be like mixing the oils.
Don't let it happen.
Yeah, no. Sorenko Productions said it's the opposite of a cash grab because they're contractually obligated to make 5 seasons of it. LMAO. Yeah, regardless of whether anyone's watching, they will go on. Shane H. Wilder said Rings of Power, Return of the Cringe.
There you go. Dustin the Wind is in the chat, says, I bought my mattress from Mattress Firm. You might be a bot, my friend, today.
There's no way that's true.
I don't buy it. I don't believe it.
Because people just buy that stuff online now, right?
Yeah.
That's not a thing. I don't believe you. Nate said they did make their money, right? Just the studios eat the losses afterwards. Like the showrunners, the actors.
Yeah, the actors and the showrunners get paid.
They're fine. So, of course, they wouldn't care if it fails. Left-Handed Link Gaming said eating dark chocolate raspberry truffle ice cream sprinkles.
I'm hungry now.
Thank you. Whatever makes sense. Yeah, just dark chocolate raspberry truffle ice cream sprinkles. Whatever makes sense.
Does Trump eat ice cream?
Does Trump eat ice cream? I mean, he doesn't drink, he doesn't smoke, he doesn't do drugs, so you have to enjoy something.
He likes Diet Coke.
Diet Coke and well-done steak.
And McDonald's.
And McDonald's, yeah. That's how he keeps so strong and alert.
He probably owns a bunch of franchises and makes sure that the ice cream machine works in all of those ones.
He totally would. I would
Welcome
love
to McDonald's. Whatever.
You know, if he didn't go down the presidential arc of his life, I bet he would have started a fast food chain.
Think so?
And it would have been awesome. I really want to see that.
What would have been called?
I mean, Trump's.
Long John
right?
Trump's.
There's nothing more needed.
Yeah.
Shane H. Wilder said, as a Texan, never underestimate redneck Riz.
There you go.
You know, I don't mean that in a pejorative sense. It's completely a compliment. I hope that's clear.
It wasn't meant to be taken that way.
Yeah. Pop Culture Junkie said, regarding Rings of Power, does Bezos have a Charles Foster Kane-sized fireplace to burn all that money?
I mean, this thing is like, all he's like, look, I don't burn money. I just make more back so fast that it doesn't matter, right? Like, it doesn't matter. They just go and do whatever the hell they want because guess what?
Nothing really matters to me.
I'm just curious. Like, am I waiting on any deliveries from Amazon as we dunk on the show?
I don't boycott Amazon.
Neither do I.
Some people might balk at that, but I just won't. I won't do it.
I've got and in fact, it's not even just that I have something coming from Amazon. It's something I have scheduled, like that I get every 3 weeks.
Oh, I see.
So
I don't have anything that's like that for me.
I have that for my one monster a day.
Wait, they ship one monster?
No, they ship.
It's just one.
The 15. Like I get a pack of 15 every one 15 pack every 3 weeks.
See, that's weird because like, you know, you could just go grocery shopping and get those.
Yeah, but I'd rather just have it delivered to me so I don't have to carry it home.
I guess that's fair.
Yeah.
And that's why Rings of Power exists.
Yep.
Sorenko
because
Productions.
of me. It's my fault.
Sorenko Productions said Lana is confirmed MAGA. We're so back. Let's go. That we don't know for sure because she did initiate a hex against Donald Trump back in 2017.
That's true.
However, she might have gone through an evolution. Maybe she's come around.
Yep. Maybe
you know?
he brought her on a romantic swamp boat trip. There's like little candles on lily pads in the water, and he started talking to her about how he's not actually part of Project 2025, and how evil unrealized gains and capital gains taxes are.
And she just suddenly came to the realization that she's a Trump supporter.
Or maybe one day she woke up and found out that apparently building the wall isn't racist now, so it's fine.
Shane H. Wilder said, if you do not like Lana, then to quote Shakespeare, I do desire that we may be better strangers. Agree.
Language used to be so much better.
Corey Anderson said, Mary has a lady crush on Lana Del Rey. What is the definition of a lady crush?
I take that to be a fairly harmless term.
I don't know what it means, honestly.
Let's get to that second crisis party, guys. Let's go.
Shane H. Wilder said, I forgot we also had a Long John Silver Arby's. Ew.
That sounds disgusting.
That's even worse. That's even worse.
That is actually far worse.
There is no way. How would an establishment like that stay afloat? Just what kind of absolute freaks
you know what
out
it
there?
is? It's somebody in Europe who really hates America and wants to defile the landscape and just make America look as unappealing as possible.
Disgusting. You know what I don't understand is why Chick-fil-A hasn't gone overseas yet. It's so popular. I think it would do so well, but as soon as they opened one in the UK, they started protesting it for homophobia.
Yeah, I remember that.
That's how you know British people are gay.
You know who probably has strong feelings on Long John Silver's?
Who?
Cities by Diana. Because they're on main thoroughfares everywhere.
That's true.
I bet you she's made a comment.
Oh, she needs to make a video series about Sheets.
Yeah.
Like 100%. I need to hear her thoughts on Sheets. But yeah, that's disgusting. Sorry. Yeah, you had to like see something like that. I don't envy you. Headbutt Studio said, I actually don't have anything to say for once.
Well, thank you for super chatting anyways.
Yeah, thanks anyway. Shadow Zero said, I have a theory that Long John Silver's is a CIA money laundering front man.
Completely reasonable.
I mean, that's not out of the question.
I had a friend, so I was talking to a friend when I was back home in Minnesota.
Hold on, we got a 20 from D-Man. You get a second crisis party when you put a girl on.
Put a girl on.
Guess we're not gonna get it then.
I was home when I was home visiting last, and I was talking to a friend of mine who has had a very, very like amazing political evolution since like 2017, and he was one of the most like respectful and inquisitive people you'll ever meet, and he would just listen to me rant for hours at a time about politics, and also interspersed with my own sense of humor, which is where I would we'd pass by random businesses and be like, definitely a CIA front. And, you know, to his credit, I don't know if he actually thought I believed that, right? Like, where I was like, you know, you go past these office buildings that have, like in a lot of office parks, right? And it's got the most generic name you've ever seen. You've never seen a car there. And you're like, who runs that?
Yeah. I could say more, but I won't.
Brentwood Limited. What does that mean? Like what German-based financial firm that funnels money to Al-Qaeda is running this business?
I don't know what the context of this is at all, but I read a headline earlier that we accidentally gave like a $250 million to the Taliban.
Yep. $293 million.
What does that mean?
Like accounting error. I didn't look into it further. If I was going to be on IRL, I'd looked into it, but yeah.
Okay, we're a joke. Potatoes for Seamus said Brett nourishes the earth with dirty laundry.
Look.
It's nourishing.
Okay, I don't do that anymore. It's been at least 2 years now since I did that.
You've changed your ways.
I've literally turned over a new leaf.
Shane H. Wilder said, remember the MSM gave Trump ish for having 2 scoops of ice cream? Is that true? I don't remember that. You know, he deserves 2. Give him 3. Give him 3 scoops of ice cream. That's what he deserves.
He's earned it.
DJ, I don't know how to say this. D. Joe Talkin' Nerdy said, I live right near you guys. The Long John's is great. I don't believe you that you go there. I'm sorry. That's just not acceptable. I went there once, and that's when I decided I wasn't going to go there anymore. Carnell said, Brett, I dare you to go undercover and apply for a job at a mattress firm and the vacuum store to see if they let you in their underground operations.
That would be hilarious.
Can you please do that?
Yes, I could probably do that one day. U.S. has flown $2.9 billion so this says U.S. denies $239 million transfer to the Taliban.
Okay, so it didn't happen.
They're claiming it didn't happen.
Oops. Just sent a Venmo transaction of $250 million to the Taliban.
I do like the idea that
Made a quirky caption.
Some intern had access to, like, it's literally like you just got a Venmo from U.S. government.
Yeah, like
not a certain department, but just U.S. government, and they sent you $2 billion.
I don't know.
Like, wow, can I accept $293 million from the U.S. government from Venmo? Like, am I going to get audited?
$200 million bills. Pop Culture Junkie said, Mary, you're right about Long John Silver's. They just have one fryer. Their tagline should be where the fish tastes like chicken and the chicken tastes like fish. Because then it's like, what's even the point? What's the difference? Potatoes for Seamus said, when Brett takes his glasses off, that's his Illuminati signal to the derp state to release Project Big Olive. Hashtag change my mind, put a woman on.
I do like the idea of the derp state.
The derp
like it's like even the deep state hires some idiots
Mocha
sometimes.
runs it.
Mocha runs the derp state. Yeah.
Uncle Sam said YouTube Trump chicken SNL skit. It's gold.
Yeah, actually, there's no place we get there's no segments we've gotten copyrighted faster on than SNL skits.
Yeah, they're cutthroat.
They copyright that instantly.
Shane H. Wilder said, Brett, how are you supposed to get those gains if you aren't lifting the cases from the store to the house?
Well, I mean,
how are you going to get those unrealized gains?
I still have to take it from the front yard to the house.
Okay.
It's just not quite
That's
as far.
enough. Long John Silver's breads their fish in memory foam. It wasn't that bad, but it was just like, it was mediocre to bad enough that it made me surprised that these even exist.
There's a 20 there.
Manic Mustache, late as usual, but apropos to laundromats, local Chinese spot in my town had the best New York strip steak in 2 counties, but the Chinese food kind of sucked. Owner was arrested for money laundering. Stay toxic, my friends.
Look, he's busy committing crimes. He doesn't have time to make both of them good.
Well, okay. I don't know what to do with that information.
Sounds delicious, though.
Yeah,
I'll tell you that.
I could definitely go for a steak right now. I'm
could-
getting hungry. I was just freaking out over the fact that they're about to make a Krabby Patty at Wendy's. And I was
gonna
like,
get one?
we're not going to mention this because I'm just going to sound stupid.
want
I'm just
the
going to be
Krabby
like, I want a Krabby Patty. Like, I do want a Krabby Patty. Like, I've wanted a Krabby Patty since I was a child.
Are you gonna get one?
Of course I'm going to get one.
Yeah.
What do you think?
You should make a Instagram.
I'll get a
video.
cheesecake frosty with it.
You should make a video for Twitter.
Yeah.
Like, here's me getting my new.
Okay, Left-Handed Link Gaming said, with the way the world is today, I'm surprised that the tampon and tissue aisles aren't perpetually out of stock.
Well,
What?
People are whiners.
Oh, okay. I was like, what? Like,
Well, they'd be out of stock because Tim Walz is putting them in the boys' bathroom. That's why the tampon aisle would be empty.
right, there are hardly any to go around after you've put them in every men's bathroom. Shane H. Wilder said, there's a soul food place near me called Whip My Soul that makes the best catfish, mac and cheese, hush puppies, and collard greens. That sounds amazing.
Whip my soul.
Yeah, I'm getting really hungry. This is bad.
Oh yeah, like right before we went live, it was one of those things where like you're so hungry you can feel your stomach eating itself.
It's happening.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
And usually it's fine. I don't know why today is different because I never eat until the evening.
You don't ever
Anyway,
eat
like, that's
yeah,
just
I
what
remember you tried to eat breakfast like one day and it was awful.
I hated my life when I tried to eat breakfast. It just made me hungrier. It ruined my life. So
See,
I'm never
for
going
me,
back.
I'm already a horrible public speaker, and I already like stumble over my words enough. If I don't eat, it's worse. Like
For me, it gives me clarity almost. If I've eaten, I can't
you get cloudy.
think.
Yeah. Oh, it's got to do with what I choose to eat. Like
Yeah.
so, the best thing possible is just like a stick of beef jerky.
Right.
But if you eat anything with like carbs, like heavy carbs, I was like,
Welcome to Pop Culture Crisis. I want a Krabby Patty.
Time to talk about what's going on
Amanda
today.
Steinberg is dumb.
She's very stupid, and I just think that maybe if they'd written the show better, that she wouldn't have had to make up reasons for why she thinks people didn't like her show. And even that would have been more coherent than I probably would have done.
I'll just post that as our short.
Please don't
How
do
about
that. Please don't do that.
Potatoes for Seamus said, marry a Crunchwrap Supreme sounds good right now.
Now I want Taco Bell too.
You should get some Taco Bell. Everyone deserves it.
There is a very
once in a while.
toxic nature to like, I've earned this.
I keep it to like once a week. That's my maximum. It's still a lot.
Once a week.
That's still a lot, but yeah, I'm not gonna go multiple times.
What do you eat when you're not eating Taco Bell? I'm curious. Like, what do you eat for dinner?
Honestly, I eat like a homeless person. I make like.
Do you do girl dinner?
What is girl dinner?
It's like you put the charcuterie board together with like leftover stuff that you can make into like Google girl dinner and then.
It's just a charcuterie board?
No, Google girl dinner. It's like when you cobble together a meal out of a bunch of stuff that doesn't go together.
A lot of the time, I just have bacon and eggs. Honestly,
there's nothing wrong with that.
Is that crazy? Like,
no.
I don't really get excited about what I'm gonna eat. I just need to.
Yeah.
I just eat to live. Okay. Dinner consisting of small snack portions of food. Thank you. Okay, it includes fruit, cheese, salami, crackers, olives. They don't specify what color olives. Pickles, dark chocolate, other snackable foods. It romanticizes disordered eating habits. There's controversy around girl dinner.
There was a day once where I ate. Olivia posted a picture of it. I was eating Spanish rice in a bowl of cereal
at the same time. That's disgusting. That's disgusting. Why would you do that? What kind of cereal are we talking about, though?
Golden Crisp.
I don't even know what that is.
Okay, I didn't mean to do this, but basically, I ate the Spanish rice, and then it didn't like it. This particular brand of Spanish rice, I didn't like it, so I had the cereal. And then I had the cereal and ate another bite of the Spanish rice and found that it didn't taste awful, and then kept doing it. I would never do it again, but yeah.
That's a low point.
Straight to jail.
Yeah.
Straight to jail.
That's a low point for you. Okay, potatoes for Seamus.
Like, people were legitimately leaving comments that were like super hateful. Like
you deserved that.
This is fucking disgusting.
I mean,
I hope you burn in hell.
It's not disgusting. It's just no one would do that by choice.
Well, I didn't do it by choice. It was literally I didn't like it, so I made the other thing and just happened to not throw it away. And for the hell of it, tried another bite and found that it made it less awful.
Potatoes for Seamus said, Mary, your BF doesn't cook for you. Shame him. I'll make sure to do that.
Wag a finger.
Wag a spoon. There's a spoon emoji. Shane H. Wilder said, I'm having homemade pork ribs for dinner with my homemade barbecue sauce, bacon and eggs, based AF. I'm glad you think my dinner is based, because what else would I do? I mean, I might just... I might have nothing left to live for if my dinner wasn't based. What if my dinner was cringe?
Maybe we should re-explore what the world is coming to when your dinner is either based or cringe.
Like, I give up. Okay, Rhaegar Targaryen said eating homemade tacos with cheddar and habanero sauce right now. I bet a lot of people eat dinner or lunch or whatever while watching.
Yeah,
that's nice.
Lunch, at least. Look, I mean, this has kind of become a thing since people started making fun of soy, right? Like
soy.
Now
seed oil.
your food is like, this is why I make fun. This is why I dunk on them for being so particular about food. When somebody starts telling me how to eat, it just makes me want to have that awful meal more because I'm petulant. I don't fuck.
Like, I'm just cradling my Taco Bell and going like,
ooh, the seed oils. Ooh, the fake nutrition of it all. Good. Fuck you.
Just the contrarian nature in us it just doesn't care.
When somebody tells me to nourish my body by eating yummy foods, I want to eat the unhealthiest, most disgusting thing I can find.
And they always post their healthy dinner like it's the best thing ever. Not saying I have a problem with it or whatever, but you're trying to say everyone should eat an apricot and I don't know, steak and a fig and like a soft boiled egg for 3 meals a day for the rest of their life, or else they're cringe.
You're not meal prepping. You just discovered Tupperware.
I can't do it with these people. They're so like obsessed with health and self-improvement to the point where, like, yes, I think that health and self-improvement are good goals, but it should not be the end-all be-all of your entire life to the point where you can't like go out to eat at a restaurant once in a while, right?
I want to be buried with one middle finger up and like cradling some Taco Bell as they lower me. As they lower me into the ground. Fuck you.
Yes.
I will not eat like look. Everyone loves a good steak, you know. I love a good steak, but you do not get to talk to me about the seed oils and the nourishing foods and all the others. And then ultra processed. Yes. Oh, you can't go and buy food from the grocery store. You got to go get it at a local farm and all this stuff. Bitch, I got a job. Okay, I got stuff to do. No.
Go and like make your own sourdough and then milk your own cow and then do this and do that. Shut up! I don't care. Shane H. Wilder.
And then of course, and then somebody in the chat earlier asks if Brett's fat, and I say yes. So I guess it's my own fault. It makes perfect sense.
Look, you can be unhealthy at any size. That is just so you know. Shane H. Wilder said Mary needs to eat. She's getting cranky. LOL JK. No, you're right. You're right. Potatoes for Seamus said.
Have you ever seen that meme where it says like if your girlfriend's cranky, just feed them, and then somebody's like some girl's like, you shouldn't talk about women this way, and somebody goes, somebody needs to come feed this one.
I didn't see that. That's great. Potatoes for Seamus said, OMG, we need a Brett and Mary cookbook. Let's go.
It would literally just be me, like
what, milk and cereal?
Milk and cereal and pasta. And I eat a good amount of pasta.
And then the recipe for me is like step 1, drive to Taco Bell.
And that's actually natural. Like I eat a lot of like so for a while I think I talked about like I was eating like a lot of hamburgers but tried to eliminate the bread from it. So it's not like I don't know like that
just eliminate the joy.
So would eliminate the bread and was doing rice and ground beef, which is actually pretty good. And at least fills you up. But again, I'm not gonna split hairs, and I'm especially only if I care, right? Like, I'm not going to do it because you told me to. Ever.
Yeah.
Like,
yeah, that's valid.
Yeah. I know that's immature. I know it's immature. I don't care.
No, I don't think it's immature. Icy Wells said, this episode is completely tarded. Thanks for showing me I'm not the only one who's lost his mind.
I feel that way most days.
You're welcome.
I feel that way most days, and that's okay.
Is that all?
Yeah, we'll hang.
Alex Clark can hear you.
She's literally like, no, it's got no. Somebody right now. It's the meme of AJ Styles with the Undertaker behind him, where he's like laughing and the Undertaker appears behind him. It's Alex Clark's behind us right now.
She's literally sprinting to us right now.
What do you mean you don't like beef tallow and?
But the EMF signals in your AirPods are going to fry your brain.
And raw milk, and raw milk, it's all gonna kill you.
I'm just gonna say it. Raw milk is gross.
I remember. Okay, so Alex Clark did make a really funny one recently, where it's like, I wouldn't give my worst enemy a crumble cookie. And I was like,
yeah, I remember that.
I was like, well, if giving your worst enemy is a crumble cookie, then I don't want to be your best friend.
I kind of appreciate how dramatic she is.
Yeah, of course.
Like, it's a creative writing exercise almost. It's just like bombastic in a Trumpian way.
Next time,
about the stupidest health
Next
thing.
time we have her on, we'll have to talk about.
We will need to talk about that because I think she recently met Trump at a rally or something, and she made a point to tell him like, female voters really care about like health and wellness and food safety issues. Like, we want to hear you talk about this more. And he was like, oh, definitely I will. I don't know if he meant it when he said that, but
do we ever expect politicians of any?
I think abortion might be more important to women.
Just a little bit.
Just by a little bit.
As we found out yesterday when a dude asked a girl like, what would you rather give up, abortions or democracy?
Yeah.
And they're like, yeah, see you later, democracy.
And again, I will gladly give up both abortion and democracy. Let's get rid of both. Shane H. Wilder said, I will give the secret ingredient to my barbecue sauce, Diablo sauce. Respect.
Yeah, respect. Are we going to get to the third hour? I'd love to get to a third crisis party before the show is over. There's
We're
my
not halfway yet,
there is my
but-
shilling for the day.
Shilling, check. Potatoes for Seamus said Olivia Claire is buying us Crumble and Taco Bell. Is that true?
We were joking about what happened about the Alex Clark thing because she's like, I got a coupon for Crumble. I'm like, well, Alex Clark would not like to hear that.
Yeah, she would be very perturbed.
She does great work though. I mean, she does a lot of research and everything.
Her interviews
she talks
are
about.
always really
She does
interesting.
fantastic interviews with people that are really knowledgeable. I'm just self-destructive when it comes to food, and that's my prerogative.
She is right because she has found a niche of female audiences that is just, it was never tapped before.
Yeah.
And that's really cool. And it seems like I guess, what would you call it? Natural crunchyism, hippieism has totally been switched over to the right, which is interesting.
Well, yeah, because when one side gets demonized as considering working out as as a right-wing hobby, then I guess the crunchy naturalists will follow.
Mm-hmm. Pat the Plumber said, so Alex Clark is the reason Trump brought in RFK.
Okay.
Maybe.
Also, it's also fair to point out that, like, taking care of yourself and being healthy, caring about the way you look, that's inherently something tied to being personally responsible for yourself, and the left hates that. Like, taking responsibility for your actions and believing that you can be the master of your own destiny is not a left-wing idea.
Distrust in large corporations and institutions is not a hallmark of the left anymore. It hasn't been for decades.
Nope.
I don't know. I think we're all caught up. You ready to wrap it up?
All right. We made it about halfway to the third crisis party. Not too bad. All right, guys. Before we go eat something unhealthy tonight. You earned it. No, I'm just kidding. Hit the like button on this video and subscribe to this channel if you have not done so already.
We got a 20 from Mr. Moose Knuckle. I missed the Tolkien talk, but I'm sure he's currently spinning in his grave faster than a Hadron Collider. Well, sadly true.
Yeah, and his grandchildren or whichever generation it is doesn't care.
He needs to bestow a curse upon Jeff Bezos, if that's even possible. I don't know. Potatoes for Seamus said, Mary, please tell me it's not turkey bacon you eat. Hell no. That is not happening.
Jenny says, we can tell you take care of yourself, Brett, because your hair looked nice today. Thank you.
Your hair does look nice.
I combed it for once.
That's great.
No, luckily I have a haircut where I just literally wake up and I just push it over and it just stays like that.
Some people are born with it.
Yeah. It's not Maybelline.
High Voltage 75 said, how worried are you about the future? Well, that's a big question. I'm not worried about it.
I think about it from time to time, more so in the context of having kids. Like, it's very easy for me to be it is what it is when it's just your life. You know what I'm saying? Like, I do believe that there's great power in just understanding the phrase, it is what it is, and it will be what will be. Like, just taking that approach to life, and it makes things a little bit easier to handle. You can't take such a laissez-faire approach to it when you have children.
I wouldn't call it laissez-faire or anything like that. I'm just not worried about it.
I don't know. I mean, maybe you've got more, you have religion, faith.
Right. It's just that, the world's always been an ugly and beautiful place. And it's going to keep being that way. So there's nothing I can do on a macro level to change that.
And it's one of those things where most people will tell you that if you get away from the internet, that anxiety tends to subside.
Yeah. I mean, even the internet, it doesn't make me anxious about the future or make me feel doomerist or black-pilled or whatever. It just like momentarily annoys me at most.
Like I have more of a resolute attitude towards the future because I do want to have kids. So
yeah, that makes sense. Shane H. Wilder said, I'm going to have Tillamook German chocolate cake ice cream tonight just to have something unhealthy. Good.
Well,
Treat
like
yourself.
I said, you earned it.
Treat yourself, King.
You earned it.
You deserve it.
All right, I'm going to ask once again. Did you do your outro?
I haven't yet, actually, for once. You guys can send me validation on Instagram at Mary Archived, or you can send me hate on X. That is also Mary Archived. Let them know who's on the show tomorrow.
Oh, yes, guys. So
for those who stuck around this long.
For those of you who have stuck around this long, we got a very special episode tomorrow. We have a returning guest. First of all, director Phil will be back, who had a great episode the first time around. He will be joined, and who will be joining us is Taryn Manning from Orange is the New Black and many, many other things. Hustle and Flow. It's going to be a lot of fun tomorrow.
Yeah, I'm excited. I honestly didn't expect this to happen.
I can't wait.
It's happening.
I can't wait. It's going to be a lot of fun.
The time is upon us.
There's one more.
Potatoes for Seamus said, Rhett will make her a good day once he accepts the worlds of Mocha in his life. Hail the derp state.
I do like the derp state.
Your name is Rhett now?
I'm okay with Rhett, because Rhett's an actual name.
Okay.
Like, Rhett is better than bread.
Yeah, I guess so. If
All
you had
right.
to pick one.
We made it pretty close to the third crisis party. All right, guys, before we go, would you hit the like button on this video and subscribe to this channel if you have not done so already? And if you would like to follow me, I am on Instagram and on Twix at Brett Dasovic on both of those platforms. This show is here 5 days a week, Monday through Friday, 3 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. That is noon Pacific. We are on Amazon Music, Apple Podcasts, Pandora, and Spotify if you prefer to listen rather than watch. And if you want to follow the show on social media, we are on Twix at popculture_show, Facebook, and not TikTok because we were banned on TikTok, at Pop Culture Crisis, and on Instagram at Pop Culture Crisis Pod. Guys, we will be back with another episode tomorrow. We'll see you then.
Bye.
Later, everyone. What the hell are you still doing here? Go home. We're done for the day.